Hello there and welcome to another performance improvement video that will be focused on SQL Server and the use of indexes and their importance in helping in performance management.
Hii ni Tech na Msangi ya jishinde.com.
Using the right indexes can really make the system perform well. And if you ever face a situation where the system could be slow, maybe having a table having so many columns. For instance, this master table usually contains many columns, like the customer table in Business Central in this case. If I filter this view to the customer table, we'll find that this table will be having so many columns. Think of 100 columns, all these columns. And in SQL, the moment you insert a single value for this customer table, it means even if there's a null reference, in memory, it's recognized as a value. So the more the number of columns, the heavier the table, the more time it takes for it to load a particular value. And what an index does, for instance, if we come to this same customer table, and when you look at these are indexes. An index is like a chapter, okay, a content, let's say table contents of a book. View the table, the database table, as your big, what do I call it? Your big book or big novel, 2,000 page novel. And the novel has got some contents. If you want to go to the chapter that speaks about maybe performance, then the index will direct the query optimizer. While the query is searching, it will easily know the row ID of that particular column. Where is it located? In which page is it located? And it will easily find it. And it can have tremendous speed and differences. Okay, a tremendous speed improvement. Look at this case, for instance. If we are having this index contains the number and the name only. So we have reduced the big size of our table from 100 columns to 2 columns. A small table containing these 2 columns. So it means if I'm searching for the two values, if I'm searching for the name based on the customer number, or if I'm searching for the name, the query optimizer will use this index instead of the table, and it makes my search operation way faster compared to if I'd use the whole table and yet I'm only looking for these 2 columns. And again, we should be really careful with indexes to make sure that they don't even overwhelm the table, because update operations still use indexes. If you're updating any value in the system, remember we have an extra field to be updated here via this number. So the indexes should be there, but they should not go way they shouldn't be so many indexes to the extent that it now becomes a performance bottleneck. So like, how do we define indexes in Business Central? In this case, I'll be using Business Central as an example, AL programming, because in the SaaS version, we may not be having an access to the SQL Server. So if you look at this customer table, basically, it contains keys, and these are secondary keys. We have the, of course, the primary key will definitely be a clustered index, unique clustered index, but we have all these secondary keys that automatically are created as indexes. So we can define indexes as keys, and this is the customer's table, and we have all these keys defined. and they are indexes. So again, still with the query, okay, Business Central has missing indexes features, database missing indexes features. So it will show you the SQL query optimizer. It will suggest, okay, the suggestions are added to the database. So there is usually this stored procedure, system stored procedure that contains the missing index details. So the missing indexes will be listed. So you'll be able to know which is the missing index for, and which are the columns that I need to use. So we'll be having a table name, and then we'll have the index equality columns. So a list of columns that are used in where equality predicates in SQL query needing the index. And then we'll also have a list of columns that are used in where inequality predicates, such as or, order by in SQL query needing an index. And then index include columns. This will be a list of columns that are part of the select clause in the SQL needing an index. So this could be the most important, the index include columns, because they are part of the SQL select query. So when you're querying the SQL, you're having select this, select that, and yeah, these will be the most important. But always analyze. At times, there is usually the missing query indexes that can be Googled online. However, that one might not work for the SaaS version, because an index should always be analyzed. Like a database administrator should be capable, if they have maybe SQL installed, capable of analyzing what the performance of the index, like the fragmentation, including the page fullness. Like if the fragmentation is more than 40%, it means then this index needs to be rebuilt. Rebuilding means you're now creating the index to sort it again, to make sure that now the data has not been fragmented so much to an extent that it now becomes even it's not as impactful as it was when it was created. So because most of the time you'll find any new record will be added towards the end, and it's not sorted the way it needs, and the rebuilding will now help in such an operation. But understanding that we can use indexes and add, maybe the easiest way is to add them as secondary keys so that SQL can create it on your behalf. And if you use the and create it on your behalf, and then you can have it work for you. But if you're using the on-prem version, then you can basically go and create a new non-clustered index and select the different columns that should be included. And you will definitely add which columns you'd like for your table in your index, but it should be under that particular table. You'll select the column, the main column. You can also select the included columns that should be part of the index. Maybe they could be part of the where clause, and you just like them. When you are querying and then you need a where, you should not go to any other table. Let it be included as part of the index, and then it will create a query for you where you can be able to basically create your index. So I can script, that is what I was looking for. And then, so this will be the script. You can change the name to whichever you want, and then it will be affecting this with as contact. So the index is just for the contact, and this is really impactful in speed. You can, I have observed an improvement of as high as 60% or 80% in terms of speed. And in one particular database that I worked with for indexes, there was a lot of table, how do I put it, table locks caused by postings. And the challenge was there were some custom extensions that had not been well indexed. So when some users are posting, it took more time, and by the time the other users try to post, then they find that this other user has locked tables, and it was a whole big challenge. But slowly, understanding indexes can really help improve the speed of the database. So that's it for this video. I will see you in the next video.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so that you don't miss the next one.